Hey, this is Lon with Single Track Skills. My channel started off with only mountain bike related instruction technique videos, and then I kind of expanded it to teaching some jiu-jitsu, which I also love, and then I expanded it even more by sharing some spirituality talks. 3 different areas that I enjoy and others I've met have told me they've benefited from. So today's a little different. Today is talking about weight loss. Now, obviously weight loss applies in all 3 of those areas and many other areas of day-to-day life. I'd say all areas of day-to-day life. So I want to talk a little bit about my journey. I intentionally waited a year and 9 months to talk about this because, you know, I'm kind of skeptical whenever I hear about people losing weight. I always wonder, are you going to be able to keep it off? Anybody can do something for a short term. So a year and 9 months is pretty much, in my opinion, long enough to demonstrate that I'm able to be pretty consistent, by the grace of God, of course. But yeah, I'm almost 59, and there are a lot of things I've learned. I have lost, I said in the title of the video, 40 pounds, but to be completely transparent, it's more like 38 pounds. I could never actually get to the 40-pound mark, so at 38 pounds, I just rounded up to 40. Pretty sure that all of that has been fat. And the picture in the top of this video demonstrates what 40 pounds volume of fat looks like. It is a tremendous amount of volume. It's larger than a basketball. It's more like a medicine ball size volume. And if you want to know what 38 or 40 pounds feels like carrying it around, just grab you some kettlebells and walk with them, give you an idea. It's a tremendous amount of weight. I had a back surgery that had some major complications, a minor back surgery that had some major complications, and that is part of the reason why I put on so much weight. I was bedbound for a long time, able to do very little, but I can't blame it all on that. I would say that a majority of the weight gain just happened slowly over decades by making poor diet choices. You know, I have always believed the lie that as long as one is active, he or she can eat anything that they want, and I have learned that that is simply not true, especially as you get into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and onward. I would say that diet is probably the most important thing for losing weight or keeping weight off. As one of my friends who's a physical therapist said, you can't outrun your fork. And I truly believe that. That's something I've learned. I've learned a lot of things, and that's part of the reason why I want to share these things. I've learned so many things the hard way in my life, and I've had people reach out to me whenever I was, you know, posting on social media, 5-pound weight loss, 10-pound, 15-pound, and so on. They would message me and say, continue, you know, to share. It motivates me, and that's kind of the reason for this video. Is I thought maybe now that I've been at it for so long, I would share what I've learned, because I have learned a lot. The thing I want to be transparent about is, yes, I did take the generic of Ozempic for about 3 months. I started having some reactions, and so I stopped taking it. Turns out the reactions I had were not from the Ozempic. I actually do jiu-jitsu, and I had gotten some fungus on my wrist, and we thought it was because of the Ozempic, but it wasn't. It was because I had picked it up, you know, either in the weight room or, you know, jiu-jitsu mats or whatever. Would I do it again? Yes, I would. I would take the Ozempic again for a short term. I took it for 3 months. And to be honest with you, it only helped me lose 5 pounds. So when you're talking about almost 40 pounds, the medicine only helping you lose 5 of it is not like a miracle drug. But what it did do for me is it taught me portion sizes. it taught me I didn't need to eat as much as I thought I needed to eat to repair my back from the surgery, to build muscle, to stay strong. You know, in my mind, I just had it that you have to eat so much to recover from injury, and you have to eat so much to build muscle and stay strong. But taking the Ozempic, it taught me that half the amount of food I was eating was enough to stay strong and to recover from the surgery. So that was a big life lesson. And even to this day, this morning I had a really good breakfast. I cooked a lot, a full plate, and literally I cut it in half and only ate half of it. And I'll do that when I go out to eat somewhere or order something that's really good for me, and I'll just cut it in half, eat half of it, take the rest home for a meal later. And the Ozempic taught me that. So I definitely would give a thumbs up for that. And I also want to give a thumbs up for a company called ProFit. They were the ones who walked with me through this time and you know, suggested that I try the Ozempic. Well, it was actually a generic brand of it. I think semaglutide or something like that. But anyway, I had hit a kind of a plateau, and I couldn't get any lower. At least I thought I couldn't. They said, hey, why don't we try this for just a little bit? If you don't like it, that's no problem. Try it. I'm glad I did. Also, this group was able to help me find out where my testosterone levels were. You know, at almost 59 years old, I've been losing testosterone every year for many years, and they found that, yes, it was very, very low. So they, in a very responsible fashion, you know, continue to test me and get my testosterone where it was normal and healthy for my age. I also take an estrogen blocker as well. I know that's a lot of personal information, but if you're trying to lose weight and keep the weight off, you know, as a male, your testosterone needs to be at a certain level, and you don't need to have too much estrogen. I'm sure for women it's very similar. Of course, I don't know anything about all of that in terms of women. I just have learned this the hard way as a older male. All right, so it's super exciting seeing the difference in my clothing. Like I am down from an extra large jersey and extra large riding shorts to a medium jersey and medium riding shorts. And that's a big deal in my profession as a mountain bike instructor, looking fit and not, you know, having my weight hold me back as much. I'm a lot stronger, a lot faster on the bike. I'm probably stronger and faster on the bike than I've ever been because of losing that weight, that mass. I will say that I have been a stay-at-home husband for years. That came out of being a stay-at-home dad. And so, you know, as a stay-at-home husband, I do have a lot more free time on my hands than the average person does. So everything I'm saying is probably going to be harder for somebody who has a full-time job, but it's still not impossible. You're just going to have to work harder and probably eat less if you want to have the same results. I don't know about work harder. I've worked awfully hard, but your time management will be a lot more challenging. And I'm grateful for being in the position to where I can almost treat this like a part-time job and take it very seriously. And in that respect, it came easily for me. It was very hard for me recovering from back surgery, you know, where I could only start off by walking, you know, 50 yards, and that would be too intense. I'd have to get back in bed on ice. So we all have our challenges, whether it be working, whether it be injury, whether it be whatever. But these are the bullet points that I want to share with you that have helped me. One thing is you have to be in a calorie deficit. So there's a lot of things on social media talking about you have to be in a calorie deficit. Yes, I did get the app on my phone to where I could scan my food and track it to where I could make sure every day I was in a calorie deficit. I did that for quite a while until I started kind of learning how to do it. And now I just kind of follow what I already know from that counting calories. but I think for some people you may have to do that all the time. For me, I didn't. Definitely need to eat low calorie foods, and I'm going to talk about those on in just a little bit. But yeah, the idea is, you know, a bowl full of strawberries that are only like 50 calories, or a bowl full of boiled carrots that are 30 calories, are going to keep you full longer than you know, high calorie cheese, or you know, peanut butter, or something that doesn't have as much volume and has a lot more calories per serving. So we'll go into that in more detail. The other thing is a lot of exercise, a lot of zone 2 exercise. So if you don't know what zone 2 heart rate is, definitely do some research on that. But that's the fat burning zone. So try to, whatever exercise you're doing, try to work it into zone 2. I do a lot of mountain biking, and yes, I did wear a heart monitor to try to figure out where my zone 2 is to stay there. It's hard to stay in zone 2 on the mountain bike because you want to just explode and go hard and get aggressive. E-bike really helps with that. It can keep you honest. And you know, a lot of times I would do 3-a-day workouts. So like I would do a mountain bike ride after a morning jiu-jitsu class. The morning jiu-jitsu wouldn't keep my heart rate in zone 2. It would jump really high, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's building calories. And I also bought a sauna from Sam's Club, and I'm in it, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. That will bring your heart rate up to zone 2 just sitting in there. So some days I would literally do 3 different things. I would do jiu-jitsu, mountain bike, and sauna. And you know, I had to be careful not to overtrain, because from what I've read, I don't know that this is true, I believe it, but if you overtrain, your cortisol gets a little higher, and it's going to make you hold on to your body fat even more. So you're kind of working against yourself. Of course, also, if you're not resting, then you know, it's through the resting that you burn fat. Hey, listen, I am going to start a second video. So if you are liking this and you want to hear the rest of my journey, pick up the second video. I'll put it in a playlist and call it part 2. So until the second video.